So look, when we had this trickle down, right, what we have learned in that economists, they thought ki how economy can grow, right? No, it's easy to talk about growth hona chahiye, but how to grow, that's the bigger question. Still this question prevails, still the research is going on, still people are talking about it, they are finding their own ways. So when they were discussing this, what should be the way, one way that was, you can say, that suggested by several economists is the trickle down approach. And that approach is saying that in a two way we can understand. One is that the wealthy individuals on the top, they need to be supported by the government, right? They need to be supported. I don't have the paper cut. Just 3-4 days back, Arvind Parnagaria, that will study. He is the chairman of 16 Finance Commission. Finance Commission will be studying in the classroom, in both classroom, in polity as well as in economics. So he is the chairman of 16 Finance Commission. He was also saying the same thing, that the government, like our finance minister, our prime minister, has said it several times in interviews, right? That look, as you know it, that the Modi government is generally, we should not name the person, but generally this present government is accused by they are favoring the rich and the poor is suffering. And they are sometimes vocal about it also. Vocal in the sense they say it that, look, it's not that we are favoring them. Until unless our entrepreneurs or the businessmen will not do good, the economy will not develop. That is what their logic is, right? So they are thinking. The 16th Finance Commission Chairman Arvind Panagaria has also said it very recently in an interview that it's not like, no, so you have to choose. That was his statement. You have to choose that everybody remains poor, or you have to choose that someone will become rich and they will distribute the income to the society. There is their employment generation. You have to choose it. He said it in the interview itself, just 1 week back. Point is, so what is the thought process that we are talking? Thought process is that they are believing that wealthy individual should be getting, wealthy individual in the sense businessman, they should be getting benefited. So then what will happen? Their business will expand. If that is expanding, that will create the employment and people will get the job. And if they will get the job, obviously the poverty will reduce. That is the theory. If you remove the wealthy part, this is also said that, look, we have studied GDP, right? How do you measure growth? That is the GDP, gross domestic product. So if GDP is increasing, what does it mean? That your production is increasing, right? Quantity multiplied by price. So quantity is increasing in your country, means a lot more onion, tomato, potato, all services as well, more job creation. If the GDP is increasing, and we have talked about the growth cycle also, right? If GDP is increasing, the employment, investment, etc., capital creation will be there. So that was one theory that they talked about. But then they noticed that this is not actually doing the, helping the society. GDP is growing. India is right now, you can see it also at present also, that our GDP growth is the highest in the whole world, right? But still our country is not developed. So problem started happening. And when this problem started happening, when they start noticing it, in the 1929, there was a Great Depression, right? No, this go Mandi bolte. The Great Depression, why it is called Great Depression? Because of the larger number of people lost the job. I'm not going to give you entire history of it, otherwise it will deviate from the topic. You just understand that it started in US and most of the people started losing job. Depression itself means that. I think I taught you the business cycle as well. We have studied it, yeah. So in the depression, this is the depression point, right? Under this. So ye jo tumhara point hai, when the depression is there, it means there is a less economic activity, right? Economic activity means that there is no, production is less, consumption is less, etc. So when a lot of people started losing job, they realized this theory is not working, this GDP and all. Do you know that this growth and development, actually these terminology, especially this development, right, terminology, and welfare state, this started being talked about after 1929 only. Before that, there was nothing, no word like growth, development, welfare, nobody was talking about. The main thing is the GDP, it's okay, right? There were not even no concern were there. And also in the world history, when you will have a world history, you will study that there is a two pole. One was the USSR and then another is the US, or you can say. So they have realized, especially this Western country, they realized that what is the issue with the USSR, because they were developing. And this 1929 depression took place in US, in America, right? So they realized that our theories of economic theory is not working, but USSR theory, because that is a socialist country, right? Or they were a socialist country and they are doing well. They were not facing the what is called depression at that time. So then they start thinking about this inclusion and all. Then the new theory comes that is called the inclusive growth, and that we'll study today. inclusive growth or development? Inclusive growth or development. That is the topic we are going to start. तुम्हें कुछ कुछ डिक्टेशन भी करना पड़ेगा, वो तो तुम पढ़ लेना बाद में. Something extra that I have given you. Now see the word inclusive growth. Look, growth का मतलब हम लोगों ने पढ़ा था. In the last class we did have a some little bit discussion on difference between growth and development, right? So what was the difference between growth and development? अगर तुम लोगों को याद हो, क्या था difference growth और development में? क्या था difference? What is the difference between growth and development? क्या था मतलब क्या है? What is difference? एक लाइन में बताओ. Good. Qualitative, yes. So growth is quantitative change. Number is changing. 5% growth, 6% growth, 7% growth, right? But it does not show that, suppose the economy has risen, it does not show that the discrimination in the society decreased or not, right? So quality changes took place or not, that does not show. Suppose that you are working 15 hours a day. Obviously growth will be there, because we have just talked about growth means quantity multiplied by price. So if you work 8 hours and if you work 15 hours, obviously in 15-hour work there will be more production, right? So more production, more growth. But if you are working 15, 20 hours, you are not giving leisure time for yourself, right? You are not enjoying it, you are not listening to music, nothing else. So quality of life will be degraded. Point is that development talk about the quality of life, not the quantity alone. So we'll talk about, look, see this word inclusive growth. Now when growth is taking place, if you see the word inclusive, opposite of the inclusive, what? Exclusive. So suppose anybody who is excluded from the growth, they need to be included, right? Isn't it? Right now, suppose India is the fastest growing, but it is not growing for all. A lot of people in the country, they are excluded from the growth. So this theory talked about inclusive growth. When you talk, it means those who is excluded from the growth, they need to be included in the growth. And if any growth model or any growth process that include everyone in the growth, that is called inclusive growth, isn't it? And obviously if that is happening, that lead to the development. So that is the definition of it. The OECD definition is different, but we'll talk first. Write down inclusive growth or development is a qualitative concept. Inclusive growth or development is a qualitative concept. It shows the positive change. In economic and social indicators. Economic indicators are infrastructure, that includes power, transportation, or you can say communication, etc. Next is employment, income and wages, currency strength. Okay, one more item, financial inclusion. जहां पढ़ने में प्रॉब्लम हो पूछ लेना. Okay, financial inclusion, etc. Infrastructure, power, transportation, communication, employment, income and wages, currency strength, financial inclusion. What are the social indicators? Health, education, inclusion, financial inclusion, sanitation, equality, etc. Right? Okay. Inclusive growth, right? On inclusive growth focuses on long term sustainable growth, that is not just limited to national income, that is not just limited to national income, but also covers equal opportunities, comma, distribution of benefit of growth, economic stability, sustainability, and quality of life. Full stop. It also aims to reduce disparities prevalent in the society. Disparities prevalent in the society. Disparities like income disparity, gender disparity, regional disparity, interpersonal disparity. Etc. Okay. Now, before we move, let's discuss till now what we have written, right? Then we'll move forward. First, this disparities. Look, as we all know, we have an income disparity. Abhi, even in today's, okay, first, kya chhut gaya tumhara? Okay. So, look, today class itself, you will notice it. Hamara aaj hi tak agar we'll have time, and most probably we'll have it. You will notice what are the income disparity in the society. We are going to see different incidents given by you in United Nations Development. So, आज ही हम लोग देखेंगे. But we know, and you know, in India, especially if you talk about the gender differences, differences that we'll see today itself, the biggest disparity is in the income disparity. There are other disparities as well, but when you compare it, other disparity like the in education, in the role, the biggest disparity is in the income. Means how much income the women in general is getting and how much the male is getting. So income disparity is prevalent in the society a lot. 1% of the population is holding around 40% of the wealth of the nation. So that is the problem. So income disparity is there. Then the gender disparity, obviously, we have a gender disparity in the country at every level. If you talk about the literacy, if you talk about the income that we have just talked a little bit, even if you talk about the ratio, the sex ratio of the country, what is that? It's 940 per thousand, according to the 2011 census. Abhi naya census aa jayega, then we'll see what is the improvement in that, but that is there. Regional disparity, simply understand, look, when you listen to the word, you call Mumbai. Mumbai is a economic capital of a nation. Okay, but Mumbai is not a state, that is a city. Maharashtra is the state, right? when you call it the Pune, okay, fine, but in Kolkata, suppose the Kolkata is prosperous, but Kolkata is just a city. West Bengal is a state, right? So when we talk about entire state, then the West Bengal and Maharashtra is not very rich state. It's a very poor state, and their conditions, especially the most Harvard suicide took place in the Maharashtra itself. The point is this: if one region of a nation is not rich and another region is rich, can we say country is growing? That's the bigger problem, right? Now, as I take your example, suppose if one hand is working properly in the fantastic and one hand is, unfortunately, you are limb or one hand is not working properly, you cannot say yourself as a healthy person. The same thing, country as a whole, if you notice, one region of the nation like Delhi, Goa, they are doing fine. Per capita income, I told you that Delhi, Goa is highest, but rest of the state does not have. Even inside the state, some cities are doing good, urban areas, but others. So that is the regional disparity we have. If you want India to be growing or inclusive, it means includes all the region. Interpersonal disparity, it has a different meaning. Even in the country right now, people, especially people, differentiate each other. Agar tum in the same country, you visit other states, right? No, kuch dusre state mein chale jao, and some people, you might have heard in Maharashtra itself, few years back, they were beating the Biharis, right? No, apne state jao. In South India, the Karnataka, I think, if you remember it, right now, they were living in Maharashtra long back when the what was Bal Thackeray was there. Bal Thackeray, people know Bal Thackeray when he was alive. अब तो नहीं रह गया, अब Raj Thackeray वगैरह is. So when the Bal Thackeray was alive, he has given a slogan in Karnataka, that is in Mumbai, that is a lungi bhagao. Lungi bhagao, lungi, do you know lungi? Lungi is the people wear, right? The lungi bhagao, it means that his slogan was he wanted to beat the South Indian out of the state. Actually, he did not have any issue with that, but he just wanted to be the political person in the country. Point is that, look, if you are living in any of the particular region, any of the state, and you have a proud on your culture, on your surroundings, on your state, that's nothing bad, nothing wrong in that. But on that basis, if you are feeling superior and others are inferior, that is the problem. So that is the interpersonal disparity that is still in the country. These disparities need to be removed, right? Before we coming to this slide, we'll come little later. We'll see something more about the pillars of inclusive growth. और एक बात याद रखना इस टॉपिक के बारे में, आई थिंक इन द फर्स्ट क्लास व्हेन आई वाज एक्सप्लेनिंग व्हिच टॉपिक इज इंपॉर्टेंट, वो भी कम से कम याद है कि नहीं तुम लोगों को कि व्हिच टॉपिक इज मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट. सपोज इफ यू जस्ट गिव मी टू टॉपिक, राइट, और टू टॉपिक, one that is the most important for your prelims and one that is the most important for your mains. कम से कम एक टॉपिक का नाम बताओ दो in economics, right? Which topic of economics is the most important for your prelims examination and which topic of economics is most important for your mains examination? ये मैंने पहले क्लास में, I have taken the not पहला क्लास, I think orientation class, orientation class, I have taken 2 classes I think, yeah. तो क्या टॉपिक था तुम्हारा सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट? नेशनल इनकम? नहीं, लुक, मैं तुम्हें एक दो बात बता देता हूँ क्लास में. आई जस्ट वांट टू फोकस ऑन द क्लास, बट पॉइंट इज दैट एज यू आर द बिगिनर, आई विल टेक इट बिगिनर इन द इकोनॉमिक्स. हिस्ट्री खत्म हो गया ना तुम लोगों का, मॉडर्न इज फिनिश्ड और कुछ बाकी है, ओके फाइन. द पॉइंट इज कि दो चीजों पे तुम्हें कम से कम याद रखना, मिनिमम 2 थिंग यू बी श्योर अबाउट इट राइट नाउ. वन, दैट इन यूपीएससी प्रिपरेशन I find one most important English word in the dictionary is the relevance. तुम्हें relevance पे हमेशा focus करना, like what is relevant for your examination right now, because as people say it's an ocean. By ocean it's not ocean if you know the relevance of it. Which topic, which article, which book, anything, which class is relevant for you. If it is not relevant, even the surroundings right now for this preparation, तुम्हारा जो surrounding है, if it is not relevant or helping you anyway in the preparation, it means you have to leave that for particular time at least, जब कम से कम. And specifically, the most specifically the topics जो तुम पढ़ रहे हो, इसका relevance है कि नहीं है, is it relevant or not? That is very important. So for that you have to be very very clear which topic are your priority list number 1, priority list number 2, priority list number 3. Obviously every topic has some importance, but priority must be set, right? कि तुम्हारा सबसे टॉप प्रायोरिटी क्या है, फिर सेकंड प्रायोरिटी क्या है, थर्ड प्रायोरिटी क्या है. अभी नेटफ्लिक्स के जो फाउंडर हैं राइट नाउ, ही वाज गिविंग एन इंटरव्यू, ही सेड, ही वाज आस्क्ड, ही सेड नो, हार्ड वर्कर्स आर, दे डू नॉट सक्सीड इन लाइफ. Who succeed, who is pretty clear about their priority. उनको पता है कि नहीं क्या हमारे लिए important. If they are pretty clear, they always try digging that only and then they succeed. The point is that, तो ये तुम्हारा क्लियर रहना चाहिए क्या पढ़ना क्या है इकोनॉमिक्स में. That obviously I am here to do, but तुम्हें खुद भी करना पड़ेगा because you are reading newspaper on your own. 15 days तक क्लास नहीं रहेंगे, 1 month तक कोई दूसरा क्लास नहीं रहेगा. In between you cannot wait for the teacher to tell you, so you have to do it. One thing is that कि आपका relevance हमेशा क्लियर रहना चाहिए कि what is important, क्या है. That's the one thing. Second thing is the revision, because that also I notice in the classroom student that you understand everything in the class. ऐसा कुछ नहीं रहेगा तुम्हें समझ में नहीं आएगा. That I'm pretty sure. अगर नहीं आया, suppose something you missed, then you can ask. That's why I'm here. That's why you have joined. That's why you're paying fees, even in the classroom, outside the classroom. So that is not an issue that you don't understand. That should not be the issue, and that will not be the issue. I'm pretty sure about it. But the issue is to retaining capacity. तुम्हें याद रहेगा कि नहीं रहेगा? And how can it be? By revising. So revision करना ही पड़ेगा. If you don't revise, be sure. Doesn't matter how intelligent you are going to forget. And don't keep it for the examination. जैसे हम ग्रेजुएशन में करते हैं ना, एग्जामिनेशन 2 महीने पहले, ये चलेगा ही नहीं यूपीएससी में. इतना ज्यादा पाइल अप हो जाएगा. It will be so much that it is not possible to you to revise all at once. So it's a daily process. No? It's a daily process. Like in civil services, you might have seen, I think I have seen it some of the movies or what, I know there were what is called police personals, IPS and all, they are talking. And then there is a terrorist and all. So like, oh, and they were doing some encounter, and then they were discussing among themselves, police. They said, look, we are same actually. We are also killing them, they are also killing them. So how it is different? He said, no, the difference is that we have to win every day. They have to win only one day, right? So that's the difference. Because similar thing is that I realize is a very good thing actually. You have to win every day. It's not that you have to win prelims day. When the day prelims will be there, obviously that day is the important day. But it's not about that day. तुम्हें एक दिन जीतना पड़ेगा. Every day is actually prelims examination or mains examination. It's not about कि तुम उस दिन जाके कर लोगे. It's not about the mains day. And if some who actually realize it, sometimes it can be understood. We all are human beings. कभी हम कोई day miss हो गया, कभी हमारा party हो गया. That can be understood. But even if you avoid, that's fine. And those who is actually that sincere, they only clear this examination. At least in a first attempt or second. At least. अगर तो तुम कर ही लोगे तुम 4 साल में. That's also truth. But that ये बात याद रखना. Anyways, why I asked you this? For your prelims examination, the banking, money and banking is the #1 topic, right? Then the external sector, then other topics are coming. For your mains examination, the agriculture and this inclusive growth that we are talking about. Not a single year are there where they do not ask question from this. In your handout, see the last page. From last page पे जाओ, right? I have given you the few questions only. 16, 17, 19, 20, 22, right? No. And that is just few because I cannot put entire questions over there. So every year there is a question, every year, right? No. In 17, salient feature of inclusive growth. Has India experienced such growth process or not? Right? Analyze and suggest measure for inclusive growth. कैसे measure करोगे आप? That actually we are talking about. हम measure कैसे करेंगे? कि disparity है कि नहीं society में? Electricity है कि नहीं? That is how you will write ना. This is the question. See the question number 2, second one. A strategy for inclusive growth is intended to meet the objective of inclusivity and sustainability together. Comment on the statement that we are going to discuss, right? Means take any questions every year, irrespective of, very rarely you will find a year where they are not asking question from this particular area. And that is why this topic is theoretical, because it is important for your mains. The mains में तो लिखना पड़ेगा आपको. That's why it is lot more in writing, because topic is relevance for the mains. तो ये बहुत ही आपके मेंस के लिए relevant है. और this year in 2024 mains has just passed. They have not asked directly from this topic, but indirectly from the planning को जोड़ कर उन्होंने पूछा है. So be sure next year उन्होंने पूछेंगे ही पूछेंगे. Be sure of that. In 99% chance. इसीलिए इसको देखना. Anyways, coming to the pillars of inclusive growth, that is already given in your handout a lot. But few things that is not given in the handout directly, that we will discuss here, right? So suppose, look, one thing that we talk about, one is the distribution. लिखते जाओ इसको, distribution or equal distribution, sorry, right? On equal distribution of resources. Equal distribution of resources. Sustainability or sustainable growth. Capability deprivation. Removal of capability deprivation. Equal distribution of resources, sustainability or sustainable growth, removal of capability deprivation. इस तीनों को हम लोग पहले समझते हैं, then we'll move to the first slide again. We'll go back. So look, when you talk about equal distribution of resources, remember, can you remember anything that we have studied about it? Equal distribution of resources. Equal distribution of resources, like when you were talking about in the very first class, probably the three fundamental problem of an economy, right? What to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. हम लोगों ने पढ़ा था ना? So when you say that what to produce and how to produce, for whom to produce means who will be getting this, isn't it? Suppose you have a pie, right? So this is the total income of the country. Then who should be getting how much? That is actually the distribution. So it talks about the equal distribution of resources. Remember, it's not talking about the equal distribution of income. There is a difference in that. Equal distribution of resource means, suppose what are the resources country has? Suppose that there is a minerals, there is a railway, infrastructure. All these are resources of the country, right? There is a defense system, the banking system, all those natural resources that we have. So that should not be that one person is getting more and rest is getting less, right? There should be equal distribution. If this equal distribution is coming, that is the fairly across the society, that is the OECD definition. Then what will happen that everybody, suppose that there is a job availability. UPSC has given notification. They do not differentiate that, who will be participating in it, who will not participate in it. Everybody is equal. You just participate. Obviously, competition will be there. Then who will clear, they will get the job. But the point is that when they give this job notification, they do not discriminate. It is for them. Yeah, you can say that education qualification is there. That has to be there. That is the topic we are going to study. Unemployment topic will start today itself, most probably, if not then tomorrow. That how what is the eligibility criteria? The eligibility is necessary, so it has to be there. Otherwise, it is for all. Those who is not eligible for this UPSC or graduation, for them there are different job, but there is a distribution of the society, so that must be there. If you want to have inclusive growth, there must be the equal distribution of resources, right? That everybody gets. Okay. Next is sustainability or sustainable growth. This topic you will be studying under environment also, right? Sustainable development. So what is sustainability? अगर तुम्हें sustainable से मतलब ये हो तो what is sustainability? Sustainable word मतलब क्या? In general, what is the meaning of sustainability? Long term, right? तो हमारे economy में, in economy, what is the meaning of sustainability, right? In UPSC, there was one question. See that again. That will be easy when you keep going it and reading it. Probably I have put it that question. Yes, the last question. See the last question. What is the question? Explain intragenerational and intergenerational issue of equity from the perspective of inclusive growth and sustainable development. Right. So there is a two word, intragenerational and intergenerational. What is the meaning of intragenerational and what is the meaning of intergenerational? Intragenerational and intergenerational. What is the meaning of it? Look, when you talk about intragenerational, it means among the generation at present, जो हमारा अभी present generation है, and intergenerational means the present generation and the future generation, that is coming generation. So now suppose if the growth is there, just suppose we talked about the minerals, हमारा जितना भी minerals है, the fuels and all, their availability is fixed. ऐसा नहीं को बन रहा है. Even that is, it will be built because it takes the millions years, to be made. अगर आप उसको खत्म कर लोगे right now, if you finish it off in few years, then what will happen for the future generation? That will not remain. So point is that your growth should be sustainable. It's not that only you should utilize it. So that is the intergenerational growth. Means you should not over utilize the natural resources that you have or all the resources that you are using for the production. And obviously intergenerational means among the generations at present, they should get equally. That is the sustainable growth of in sustainable. Then the capability deprivation. This is very, very important one. This was given by Amartya Sen. Amartya Sen का नाम जानते हो आप लोग? कौन है ये? He is a Nobel laureate of the country. इन्होंने इनको welfare economics के लिए, he got the Nobel Prize for welfare economics. He has given this theory of capability deprivation. This is something unique, and obviously it was really good one. He said that, look, even if you are not poor, right, you are rich, but you might have the capability deprivation. Rich in the sense, you suppose very recently in UP there is, I think, Hathras, there was a stampede. Abhi UP में हुआ था, several people died in that. There was one Baba who was giving some, and then the stampede took place and lots of people died, right? So, and because the people was in lakhs of people, not only the few thousand, there was a lakhs, more than lakh people were there. What happens when a lot of people got injured in this, they were taking them into the hospital, right? Some people who were affluent enough, they were not poor, so they can afford good hospitals. When they went to the hospital, especially when they went to the whatever the nearby hospitals were there, their health facility was not available. Means they were not able to be treated properly, right? Because all the equipments in the hospital was not good enough. So now in that case, think about you are this person who is somehow feeling emergency situation, and you are going to the hospital. And in this hospital, there is no, for example, oxygen mask or anything is not there that you need. What is happening? You are deprivation, and they may die. And that happened actually. It's a reality. Some people died, though they reached the hospital on time, but because the facility was not available, and it will take more time to reach to other hospital, they died. So what is happening in this case? That it's not about poverty that is keeping you out from the benefit of the society. It is just a capability deprivation. The facility is not available. It means what? The health facility should be better. That is the one thing. Now think about the second thing, education. I'll dictate about this. But think about education. What generally all of us do, that we send our children to the schools, right? You will also send your children to school. You are going to school. You went to the school. Now you went to this school, for example. You are in this school. You enroll yourself. There are several 100,000 students studying. But you will be studying the things that is being taught in the classroom, isn't it? What about this quality education that is not there in the classroom, right? No, they are teaching just anything. Suppose that. This means the skill development program that is not there, or some vocational training is not being given, just rote learning. That is what our Indian education system is all about. What is happening? Even you have the availability of education, right? Because quality is not there, so you are actually deprived. Suppose if you are not getting, that we talked about, even after graduation, why people are not able to get the job? Yeah. Even the engineers, the report says that around 80% engineers are not the employable. So they are engineers, but they are not employable because they did not get the proper quality education that is needed. So what is, don't you think this kind of deprivation is kind of poverty also? It's an educated poverty, right? So even you have it, still you are deprived. It means you are not included. Now suppose there are engineers or anything, any people you talk about, someone has studied from the top college of the country, they will get the job. So there is no inclusion in this case. Both are engineer, both are commerce graduate, both are same the bachelor degree, but both got different education. So one is deprived. It means inclusive growth is not there. That is the problem. Third, if you see the some kind of either the race or gender, or you can say caste based. Some caste in the past, even at present also little bit, they are not allowed in the society to get everything, right? In the school or anywhere else, some genders are being discriminated. Even they are not poor, right? They are also good enough. They are rich, or somehow you can say APL, above poverty line. Still, they are being discriminated. So that is the capability deprivation. If you want to have inclusive growth, you need to remove this capability deprivation also, because it's not about the poverty, but about that those who are not poor, still they are deprived or from the growth. Is it clear? Well, so write one line among all three. Equal distribution of resources. First, equal distribution of resources.